sender. Replace the fender. Bafwetu wami. Bafwetu wami. Cheese and bologna. Ek hou nie van jou nie. Kom my Naomi. Jy sluk maar jy kou nie. Ek is nie jou vrou nie. Jy breek maar jy bou nie. You can't even buy me a pony. Why so common and phony? How you treat the goddess like a homie? You really showed me. Shock helped me. Shit the old me. Flamaki. Alchemy Bafwetu. Alchemy. Let me give you a short Afrikaans lesson. Ek hou nie van jou nie. Is Afrikaans for I do not like you. Ja. I do not want to hold you. Jy sluk maar jy kou nie. You swallow without chewing. So that is talking about the spirit of greed. Jy breek maar jy bou nie. The spirit of being destructive. Knowing how to break down, especially what others have built, but not being able to build shit thyself. That's hectic. That's hectic. That's hectic. Hey guys, it's going down in these streets. It's 3:20. 3:28, it's going down in these streets. Okay, I hope you can see me clearer now. Yes. You can see me clearer, okay. I'm not really fond of this, but being an alchemist, shock, fright, getting a real fright, whether it be by something spontaneous, like almost meeting with a car accident or something, or actual fright of seeing an apparition from another dimension, or getting a shock realizing that someone wasn't who they pretended so well to be. That's also very frightening. That, come to, I'm gonna get it. I'm like I said. No? You really showed me. Like I keep thinking about this, That's what led me on this path where I had to be in my own energy. I don't like using words like single and all of that because I'm not single for the normal reasons. It's easy to get boyfriends and have companions. I'm on this solo dolo experience to remember my self-worth so that I can attract fulfilling connections and not remain constantly dissatisfied after filling up others' cups, because there was this pattern. I had picked up this pattern, and it's obviously stuff from childhood and generational patterns and stuff that we've picked up or integrated into our cells and DNA and nervous system. Where was I? But anyway, back to my point. For that reason, because I have the gift of seeing potential. I can see your highest potential. I made the mistake of falling in love with folks' potential and then making excuses for the current state of mediocrity, for the current free will choice to self-abandon. Because being around someone who's self-abandoning is not safe. How are they gonna protect you if something happens and you're unable to protect yourself, like losing a limb or whatever, or you're all in the middle of the sea, or you're facing a gang of thugs? Like, if they can't protect themselves, how are they gonna help you in that state of emergency? So you must always look at your connections and say, in a state of emergency, like in the most dire emergency, would I be able to rely on this Nwata? No. Okay, you have to be honest. Sit there now while you're smoking that Ming pipe, while you're relaxing. Next time you're with your crew, just relax in that camp chair with a very neutral facial expression, because you mustn't let them know that you're busy vetting them. They don't know that they're about to be kicked off the island. The island is you, your energy. Anyway, just look at them and be like, you're gonna. But don't say it out loud. Just be honest in your mind. And also, introspect yourself. Yo, if something were to happen, would they be able to rely on me? Or am I just gonna throw everyone in the sea and save myself? And it's very important to be able to be honest with yourself. Yo, in an emergency, would I do that? And then not shame yourself, but then keep digging now. Don't get frightened when you get to what seems like sinking sand on top of the rabbit hole that leads down PTSD and what causes us to act in the way we do. So when you get there and you realize, sure, I would actually do this, or yo, I've been treating my friends like this, or my partner, my family, my children, I've been treating them in this way. Why is that? Then you tap into your memories. That's if you're brave enough. A lot of people are like grown-ass babies. They are so scared to tap into their memories because it's so painful. I know memories are horrible. The other day, I vaguely mentioned something that I experienced when I was 5. And my teenage son was literally like, oh, yo, sorry, mama. Yo, that's bad. Sorry, mama, I can't even imagine. That's how painful that I just vaguely, I didn't even give it a full detail to him. I just vaguely told him something, and he could already fathom in his 14-year-old mind, yo, for a 5-year-old to experience that, and what must their life be like after that now, having experienced that, And it's a painful memory, and it's a painful memory seeing your parents arguing about giving you away, whether or not they should keep you or give you away, and strange, I have these memories, guys, that some of these memories, I'm gonna need ayahuasca, I'm gonna need some serious shrooms, because I'm not really into, I prefer to work with nature's therapy, because I have some memories where I can feel the shame of the people in the memory, and I have this feeling like I was crawling. I was in a crawling age when I and same thing in witnessing. Supreme Creator placed me as this little beautiful muggy, because I won't call myself a fly on the wall, but a beautiful muggy on the wall. That was the blueprint of my life school. You're going to be a muggy on the wall. That's how you're going to learn most of your lessons. You're going to have a couple of near-death experiences. Okay? But you'll always come out unscathed. That little girl wearing a pink dress, skipping out, and behind her there's explosions, and she has a teddy bear, and she's la la la, and behind her there's tankers falling over and exploding, and all of those tankers are actually meant to destroy her, and she doesn't even know, and she's la-di-da-di-da-di-da, and off she goes. So that's literally been my life, I've always had this position of fly on the wall where I get to see things. And also, Supreme Creator knew that I wasn't a snitch, That's why I ain't got no stitches, because stitches get stitches. And as you can see, I ain't got no stitches. Wait, I have stitches. I have 3 stitches now on this finger from when. So Nini Nanini was like, you know what, ne? You're not gonna marry this man. Almost cut off my ring finger. I'm still washing dishes at the parents' house. And yo, I had to go for stitches, literally cut to the bone. A cup. Strange. So yeah, so that if I didn't need a more clearer sign of you not to marry this man, then almost cutting off your ring finger at his house. You know, yeah, and yeah, I have SS. I don't know if you can still see it. Chase, we go to the tattoo parlor and you treat me to some ink there. I need some ink, guys. I haven't went for a tattoo in years. Like, and tattooing is like so therapeutic for me. Like, all of my tattoos have meaning. You know, even the pain. It's just like this buzz. Like, it's just. I remember when I got my. What do you call this? A treble clef. What do you call that musical note? It's like a S. Behind which ear is it here? I must check which ear is it. It's behind one of my ears. I have this treble clef. I think it's called a treble clef. And the tattoo artist was like, yeah, this one is not normal. Shouldn't even flinch. Because, like, there's just something therapeutic about the pain of getting a tattoo. But anyway, so I have this SS here. And before I met my ex, I got this SS to signify show me, shut up and succeed, you know, silence and success, you know, siren, Sibylline, you know, SS. So, because that's what I decided. I decided I'm coming into divine union with my greatest optimal good. And he was a threat to my greatest optimal good. Yeah. Yeah, but I've always been this little, cute little machi on the wall. And I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about, or remembered, you could say learn or remember. You know, I remember a lot. And it's a lot to process. And I do my best. And that I'm so grateful for my furry friends. Hey Artemis. My furry friends and my bambinos. Because they're helping me have the childhood I never had. And that really takes a load off the information overload. And it also helps you to be able to see all of this information with still a pure innocent eye without perverting your mind, you know, because at a young age my mind was already perverted. Ooh, something to suit me. At a young age my mind was already perverted. So I had to go through this whole life, teenage years, everything was dampened, not only by an abusive environment, unhealthy environment, but now my inner world also got hacked into already. Do you understand? So on this healing journey, I've managed to purify my mind where, like, I can honestly say, like, my mind is so pure and innocent. I can't fathom hurting a being, and even more, I can't even fathom hurting an innocent being, you know. The closest thing that I come to harmful thoughts of anyone is that when I am the leader of the world or global or Terra Council, I will be bringing back the law of, what do you call it? Execution. But it will only be for grape. So only those who are proven without a smidgen of a doubt guilty of grape will be for their own good. You know, not just for the victim's good, but also for their own good, because it's hard to heal your root chakra from something like that, from doing that to someone, you know. It's best to just end it, and then you'll come back and redo this. But what I just received now that I've been wanting to share is bride and groom. What sick shit is this? Why does the bride need someone to groom her if they are equal counterparts? So this whole bride-groom thing comes from child marriages. Because why would I need you to groom me? Shouldn't I have already groomed myself and you groomed you so that we can come together as emperor and empress and not some sick adult-child dynamic? Oh, so the day I come into divine union with my divine masculine, with my alpha, there will be no bride and groom. It will be emperor, empress from day one. I now pronounce you emperor and empress. You make it your empress. These are certain terms that just ain't right. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. I don't need to be groomed by no one. I'm supposed to be the beautiful flower in the home, nurturing the home, nurturing myself, nurturing the legacy. Do you understand? While you are upholding that home, you know? And then for us to have that healthy dynamic, you and I must also have our sacred, private dynamic that nobody knows about. Everybody just knows there's the emperor and the empress, and that's it. If there's nothing more ratchet than talking out of the bedroom, you know, like sharing your wife with your friends. Oh, you know what she put it down. For your ego. That's disgusting. You just opened all of your walls. You just broke down all of your walls for all of your homies to attack by you exposing intimate details about your life. And Mercy, alpha male that I always use, like the homies and the bros as an example. But yeah, that's just my example. It goes for anyone, even as a female, as a womb. If you do not keep your home sacred, you're opening it up to anyone to attack, including your girls that you trust so much. Just imagine having your... This is not funny. Just imagine the dynamic. I saw it on TikTok. So this couple was living together, and then the husband was a producer, and this female artist wanted to work with him, or they wanted to work together, so she moved into his house with him and his family. I'm smiling, this is not funny. Right? Proceeded to scupper the wife with a stina and take her husband, just to find out, after all of that, they still got divorced. The husband that she stole, they still end up getting divorced because she got gender confusion from trauma picked up in the industry. You know, so keep your ish private. Keep your stuff private. Keep your dynamics private. Okay. Talking about private spaces. That womb is divine splendor. Her silence is a sign of self-surrender. Her composure alone is a back to sender. She her own cheerleader and God's her defender. Don't come near her if you can't defend her. She never come tired, she's slender. She Allah divine mother, the mender. What a bushy, perfect blend. What? A washout they her couldn't render. It was one day. I was laughing. That's when I realized the mental state of someone who chooses not to heal from their trauma, but rather used as a weapon and wear it like this, carried like this huge, heavy bag of fake nobility, you know, was when my mother, for, like, it wasn't warranted, but she basically said to me, look at you, you finished. said that to me. She's like, look at you, you finished. And I was like, huh? And I just laughed, And I said to her, in the end, the mirror never lies. And she's like, yeah, you don't even have a mirror. At that time, I only had a small mirror in the bathroom. And I was like, is this my mother or is this high school? I was like, I think I'm not doing this. I think that was the last time I ever. After that, every time she made snide remarks downstairs, stuff like that. Like the one day, most recently, she comes to the family home after some period of time, and she's busy by the back door there at the bottom. Now, bear in mind, she moved out, so the whole rest of the place is empty. It's locked up, but it's empty. She's busy by the back door. Next thing, she comes huffing and puffing. Yeah, I don't know what's fiddling by that door, blah, blah, blah. She goes, she gets the builder guy that does the small jobs here and stuff. She's like, yeah, I don't know what's fiddling in here. And it can only be her. Like, what an insult. Like, how do you insult? Like, you get insults and you get her. That's below the belt. What are you trying to imply that you would... I have 4 children. I have a full life. Why would I go and try and break the door handle of an aluminium door? But do you know aluminium doors? There's no way you're gonna break in there. Do you know how long it took those guys hours to fix the lock? Then I even said to my children, like, I wish she can bring the cops so that they can come and dust for fingerprints and find our fingerprints there. Because that's literally the theme of my whole life. My whole childhood, everything was this woman shifting blame, and her fingerprints was all over everything. It was done. You know that of your hand is in the cookie jar, but you've abused these children so bad that they can't even see that your hand is in the cookie jar and your mouth is full of crumbs. Do you know, guys, I'm so grateful to have escaped. I'm so grateful to have escaped. To have someone have their claws in your, like this, literally. Everywhere you go to work, you think you're gonna have a boyfriend, your abuser's claws is literally in here. I should do art for that. Literally. All of your fluids draining. Your mind is not yours. Living in spite, shame, hating your body, having a poor perception of men, thinking you must save men because that's all you saw your mother do was save your father. He cheated on her with 2 of her sisters. She was still saving him. She even sent groceries to those sisters' houses because she just wants to prove that she's a good person. That's why I don't trust nice guys. Because why are you trying to be nice? I'm kind. I don't walk around in the streets trying to be kind. I'm already a kind person. If I see a dog getting out, you're going to see a facial expression. I won't be able to control it, If I see a cute baby, I won't be able to control that facial expression. Or a puppy. If I see someone being bullied, I'm going to intervene. That's actually something that's the one thing that I pray that doesn't happen. I don't like it when I am in society and I see an injustice because sister's gonna intervene. I was pregnant with my daughter and I almost got stabbed because I was like, y'all are not gonna kill 2 teenagers on New Year's Eve because y'all allowed them into the club. They got too drunk and then they beat up everyone at the club. Even had to close. They were kicking the bouncer in the head. 2 small boys. Do you see alcohol? 2 small boys caused so much ruckus that night. But when it reached a point where they were already bloody and sitting in the car and the security still want to smash the car and stuff, then I was like, no, fuck off here. What the hell is this? I mean, I'm a mother in the end. I have a son at home. At that point, I had 1 baby, And luckily, my daughter's father saw and he grabbed, these street securities. We were at Carfax. I still had a food truck. And he grabbed his hand. Like, you want to stab a pregnant woman? Because I can't. I left. So, yeah. I know how I am. And it's amazing. Also during that pregnancy, that pregnancy protected me from so much. revolutionary. It's like God is literally telling me, like, girl, you don't belong on the front lines. Okay? You are a strategist. You are this, you are that. Don't go there on the front lines. I remember elders was rioting, because colored people, we only riot every 20 years. Okay? There's a time and place for everything. We allow the rage and frustration and fed upness to complete, So we have all of that power. I'll never forget those big trucks are there with the cops with the rubber bullets. My child's father has like this crowd of boys running behind him. More deniers. They have rocks. They're throwing him with rocks. Luckily, I was pregnant, so I couldn't take part in the shenanigans. So I was just standing by the wall. Yo, guys, being pregnant has really protected me from some stuff. No, but that's what I love about college. Is we have divine rage. We have divine rage. As an energetic print, you would never see us like. I'm not talking about the defunct members of the neighborhood that like takes part in, I don't know, like looting foreigner shops and stuff. But one thing with colored people is we have divine rage, We are hospitable to everyone. I mean, we come from the first. We come from the first mother and father. So we are hospitable to everyone because we can feel it. We are one. We belong to everyone and everyone belongs to us. I remember I used to joke. No, I didn't. I never used to joke. Before my mom fell asleep, there was a time where she was a little bit awake. That's why sometimes I think, maybe they replaced her with a clone or the Scientologist got a hold of her. Because she did mention something about being approached by Scientologists. Anyway, but I remember as a little girl, she said, do you know one day the whole world is going to be colored because everyone is mixing. That is when you're still into like the pyramids and finding out about what was in there and stuff like that. And that always stuck with me. I was like, yeah, one day the whole world is going to be colored. That's why there's this so well hidden, but so ominous attack on the colored people. How erasing history so that colored children think they don't have a culture. BEE, giving coloreds 2% economic exposure. That means when for a company to legally run, they have to have BEE, Black Economic Empowerment. That means that about 70% of the jobs go to black people. Yeah, because... Anyway, and then even white people have more exposure in South Africa. Indians, colored 2%. We have 2% economic exposure. Okay? And you can correct me with valid and legal updated documents. I'm talking about this and it's just starting to blow wind. Ancestors, yeah, we have to talk about this. You can update me, but those figures that I'm giving you now was from a State of the Nation address that I listened to that Zuma gave. So it's the erasing in the schools, also media, the type of, now they were a little more discreet, but there was a time where they were just putting the most ratchet colors on TV because they wanted to print this image mentally that's how colored people are. I mean, there's ratchet people in all cultures and groups, so so there's this huge, and what's sad is the colored politicians that are selling out their own people. Do you know that here in my community, they recently came in with a project to give the community members work, cleaning the street, cleaning litter. Salary, 2,600 a month. That's almost half of the legal minimum wage. So now you need to ask yourself, is this because the community leader only got a certain amount of money and they really want to give as many people an income as possible? Or is the actual stipend for each person being pinched from? because we all know that the basic minimum wage in South Africa is averaging 5,000. I'm too busy, guys. I have 4 children, so I don't, study unless I'm topics that are not what I'm studying, So you can please don't hesitate to give the correct figures of what's the current legal basic minimum wage in South Africa. Why are you splashing me with shit, kid? This kid be splashing me with shit. What's in here? Yo, I didn't even think, okay, it makes sense, because I was trying to read the other poem and then I found this folded up in my book. So I was like, okay, I know nothing happens as a coincidence. So yeah, cheese and bologna, it's time for justice, And what's beautiful is when the colored people get justice, you're going to see justice in a lot of other places. Because that's just how it is. Okay. Let me read this one again, and then we shall say goodbye. This is a deep session, very introspective. If you feel comfortable, if you feel called to, you can share your take on everything that I've been mentioning. And yeah, this is a safe, sacred space. I'm colored. That makes me a rainbow, a true rainbow, not the distorted rainbow. The true rainbow are the colored people, and that means I love all, and I'm here for all, because I come from all, and I birth all. And if you find some of these truths harsh, it is just for you to sit and meditate on, and also to forgive your ancestors and your forefathers for the roles they played, in their own lineage suffering, We have ancestors that created suffering for us, Not all of our ancestors were there out there doing the good thing. That's why I always say, one thing I know about myself, the day I decide to transcend harde ancestor, proud of myself, I'm able to look back and say, you you didn't play no games. Let's read this one. Okay. It's like suddenly, like at 3:22, it just got windy. I was like, yeah. Everything is connected. The veil. Spirit's coming through the veil. You're thinking it's wind. Okay. That womb is divine splendor. Her silence a sign of self-surrender. Her composure alone a back to sender. She's her own cheerleader and God's her defender. Don't come near her if you can't defend her. She never come tired. She's slender. She Allah, divine mother, the mender. What a bushy, perfect blender. A wash out how they couldn't render. Divine splendor. Just do your best. Do your best. And also call back your original forms, before the trauma sit into your face and body, before the shame made you change your facial expressions. I remember in Standard 5, there was this boy, Justin. He was like, wow, Flamine was a dog smile. I was my hand from he to he. How would I look if my smile went from here to here? So I was like, nah, fuck, I need to get my smile back. If I left a little bit of my smile somewhere because of how Justin used to tease me, I'm getting my smile back. Even the other one, Royston. Your Standard 5 was a heavy year, grade 7. And I was so pretty, I don't know, they couldn't see it, the buggers, right? They just couldn't see it. I had this huge gap. Like, I wish I can get my gap tooth back. I remember I would beg my mom for braces. She's like, man, it's gonna grow close. So far it grew close. But now I want it back. I want it open. Cap teeth are beautiful. And those Royston and used to tease me. Wow, first blood gap. Kan 'n hele shark daar deurpas. What the pap guara is that? How can you tell me that my gap tooth is so big that a shark can swim through there? I got bullied, guys. It was horrible. It was horrible. Yeah, you know, one of my biggest philosophies in life, you know, whether it comes to ancestral work, magic, witchcraft, embodiment is the greatest work. Embodiment is the greatest spell. You know, if we truly want to honor our ancestors, it's going to start with what we eat. Yeah. That's what it's going to start with. Because that's going to determine the future. What we give birth to. And that's also going to be justice for our ancestors who were forced to eat certain things that we are now not forced to eat. So why are we eating it? You know, why are we eating fried foods and just heavy, like overcooked dead foods? Like, why are we doing that? It came from somewhere. You know, we started frying foods way back in slavery when the boss's wife took all of her prime cuts of the meat and we were left with the bones and skin and stuff. And making chips with potato peels. Everything that has been glamorized, all has this undertone of poverty and slavery and peasantry. To truly be regal and royal, it starts with self-respect. Because just think, true regality, true royalty wouldn't catch themselves dead with a packet of Go-Slows. Wouldn't catch themselves dead with a Cadbury slab. My children came home with this packs of candy and stuff. There was Beacon and Cadbury products in there. It tasted like plastic. It's as if they're like mass produced for Easter or something. The Smarties don't taste like chocolate. I threw away so much of it, the children don't even know. All the chomps and the about 5 or 6 eggs and stuff. I threw it away. I couldn't. Even the Quality Street tastes like plastic. You all know what Quality Street used to taste like. I'm dropping names. These companies need to leave the country for good. Nestle pulled out long ago. So why do we still have Nestle stuff here in the country when we know what Nestle is guilty of, what Nestle is involved with? Why is the GMOs in a baby formula if you really care about babies? Why are mothers knowingly poisoning their own children instead of breastfeeding? Yes, it's not cool to end up with chupas, guys. I even said to my baby, me and my 8-year-old daughter discuss stuff like innovating the science on boob jobs. You know, how we can make boob jobs healthier, where you can go and do a boob restructure or boob rejuvenation, but then still be able to breastfeed after that, because I haven't done research on silicone breast augmentation, but I don't know if you can breastfeed when you have silicone in. I don't know, I haven't done research. You can correct me, you can check. You know, so we discuss stuff like that. And I even said to her, you know, in the end, if I don't find the right technology, I don't care, these are my boobies. I am proud of these boobies. These boobies come from nurturing 4 lives. The one was for 2 years. My one baby, he breastfed her for 2 years. I had a big stomach expecting my baby. The nurses even said, yo, it's dangerous. You mustn't be breastfeeding. You can have a miscarriage if you're breastfeeding while you're pregnant. But I already knew I'm healthy. And it was already too late. So like 6 months in, you know. So I nurtured 4 lives. 4 lives. I chose the evolution of humanity over laziness, over poison. Guys, I shall see you next time. I can just sit and talk. I think I'm gonna start doing lives.